The sea was calm and the air was still as the ship sailed through the night. The passengers were all asleep, dreaming of the adventures they had yet to experience on their voyage. Little did they know, their dreams were about to become a nightmare. The captain of the ship, a grizzled old man, had been sailing these waters for many years. He knew the dangers that lurked beneath the waves and was always vigilant. But this night, he had a feeling that something was amiss. He was about to call out for his first mate when he heard a loud thud coming from the deck below. He rushed to investigate, but when he arrived, he saw nothing out of the ordinary. He was about to turn away when he heard a voice coming from the shadows. "Good evening, Captain," the voice said. "I have come to offer you a deal. I can provide you with an unforgettable experience, one that will haunt your dreams for years to come." The captain was taken aback by the offer. He had heard tales of creatures that lurked in the depths of the ocean, but he had never encountered one himself. He was about to refuse when the creature stepped out of the shadows. It was a beautiful woman with pale skin and long dark hair. Her eyes were a deep blue and her lips were red as blood. She wore a long white dress that seemed to shimmer in the moonlight. "What do you want?" the captain asked, his voice trembling with fear. "I want you to take me with you on your voyage," the woman said. "I will provide you with a night of unforgettable romance and horror. You will never forget me." The captain was hesitant, but he could not deny the beauty of the woman before him. He agreed to her terms, and she stepped onto the deck of the ship. The woman's presence filled the ship with an eerie calm. The passengers slept peacefully, unaware of the danger that lurked in their midst. As the night wore on, the woman began to weave her spell. The captain found himself drawn to her, unable to resist her charms. He spent hours talking with her, learning about her life and her past. She told him stories of love and loss, of joy and sorrow. He was captivated by her words and her beauty. As the night drew to a close, the woman leaned in closer to the captain and whispered in his ear. "Tonight, I will give you a night of terror and romance," she said. "I will show you what it is like to be truly alive." The captain shivered at her words, but he could not deny the excitement that coursed through his veins. He took her hand and they walked to his cabin, where they spent the rest of the night in each other's arms. The next morning, the captain awoke to find the woman gone. He searched the ship, but she was nowhere to be found. He returned to his cabin, only to find a single rose lying on his bed. He knew then that she had been real, and that his night with her had been a dream come true. He never saw her again, but he never forgot her either. To this day, he remembers the night he spent with her on the ship, a night of romance and horror that he will never forget.
Please subscribe my channel, do like and comment.
The sun had just set, and the night sky was a deep, inky black. The ship had been traveling for days, and the passengers were growing restless. The captain had promised them a romantic evening, but as the hours passed, the mood had grown increasingly tense. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the ship. Everyone froze, their eyes wide with fear. The captain rushed to the deck, followed by a few brave passengers. As they peered over the edge, they saw a figure standing on the deck below. It was a woman, her face hidden in the shadows. The captain shouted out to her, but she didn't respond. He ordered the passengers to stay back, and he slowly approached her. As he got closer, he could see that she was wearing a long, white dress. Her hair was a wild, tangled mess, and her eyes were wide with terror. The captain asked her what had happened, but she just shook her head and said nothing. He asked her again, but still she said nothing. Suddenly, a loud thud came from behind them. The captain spun around and saw a man standing there. He was tall and muscular, and he was wearing a black suit. He stepped forward and said in a deep voice, "I'm here to take the woman away." The captain stepped in front of the woman, blocking her from the man's view. He asked the man who he was and why he was here. The man replied, "I am here to take the woman away with me. She is my bride, and I will not let anyone stand in my way." The captain was about to protest, but the woman stepped forward and said, "Yes, I will go with him." The captain stepped back, stunned. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. He asked the woman why she was going with the man, but she just shook her head and said nothing. The man grabbed the woman's hand and led her away. The passengers watched in horror as they disappeared into the night. The captain ordered everyone back to their cabins and told them to lock their doors. He then went to his cabin and locked himself in. He sat in the darkness, his mind racing with questions. Who was this man? Why did he want the woman? What did he plan to do with her? He stayed up all night, waiting for morning. When the sun finally rose, he went out onto the deck and looked for any sign of the mysterious couple. But there was nothing. The captain returned to his cabin and tried to make sense of what had happened. He had a feeling that this wasn't just a romantic evening gone wrong. It was something far more sinister.
Please subscribe my channel, do like and comment.